to surprise my girlfriend Willow for her birthday. I set up a live stream and hid inside my car, planning to propose to her right on the spot, to give her an unforgettable romantic moment, and let all our friends and family witness our happiness. But the very next second, as soon as the car door opened, my girlfriend, breathless, was pushed onto the seat by another man. The car began rocking violently. I was so embarrassed I didn't even dare to breathe. I should have been under the car, not inside it, because the live stream was now broadcasting this explosive scene. Main text. I was hiding inside the car, holding a bottle of champagne, planning to give Willow a birthday surprise. As she got closer, I suddenly heard two voices. I was caught off guard. I watched her get pinned against the window, gasping continuously. I should have been under the car, not inside. Seeing how wild they were getting. The worst part, I had planned to propose to her today, to let everyone witness our joy. I had started a live stream. At this very moment, both our parents and close friends were watching online. Willow and I locked eyes, but she couldn't see me through the dark car tint. She shyly said to the men, "Let's go to the car." I panicked. What if she really got in? The live stream was being recorded by an internal camera in the car. If she came in, she'd be caught on camera. That would be utterly humiliating. I quickly called her. She picked up the phone, saw my name on the screen, and instantly said, "I'm in a meeting. Can't talk right now." I didn't even get a word in. She hung up before I could say anything. Then she turned off her phone. Next thing I knew, the car door opened. The two of them came in, kissing passionately. He pushed her onto the seat, and they were completely absorbed in each other. It was over. Everything was captured on the live stream. I was lying in the trunk of my SUV, stunned. Today was her birthday. I had planned to open the trunk when she came downstairs. You know, that trending setup online. Open the trunk to reveal roses, gifts. Me kneeling beside the flowers, holding a ring. It should have been a romantic proposal. And the camera was perfectly positioned to capture her surprised and happy reaction. Our friends and family were all waiting at home. We had agreed, once the proposal was successful, as I led her into the house, everyone would release confetti poppers. Now, what a disaster. What the live stream was showing was her clothes being stripped off one by the homewrecker. That bastard smirked and said, "Why didn't you answer your boyfriend's call? Afraid of being caught?" Willow kissed him and replied passionately, "I'm not scared. If you want to play the phone call game, I'll call him right now." The guy laughed and pressed her down onto the seat. "You're really something else," my girlfriend playfully said. "If we're chasing excitement, might as well go all the way." They were already lying in the back seat, completely unaware of me hiding in the trunk. Awkwardly, I opened my phone, and saw them going at it in the seats. And yes, the live stream was still running. The stream was password protected. Only people with the code could enter, but there were over 100 people online. I don't even have that many friends. Clearly, someone had shared the drama with others for the gossip. Over 100 viewers, and not a single comment. I could imagine everyone sitting in my house, holding cakes and confetti poppers, watching this unfold on their phones in stunned silence. The worst part, I saw one account was repeatedly sending me gifts. It was my girlfriend's mother, my future mother-in-law. She kept sending gifts because each one triggered a visual effect that covered the explicit footage. She doesn't use phones much, and probably didn't know that you can clear the screen with one tap. She didn't realize she could avoid the effects altogether. Poor woman, unaware of the full context. She kept burning through her retirement fund, trying to cover up the shameful scene. I couldn't end the live stream, because the streaming app was running on the car's infotainment system. To stop it, I had to operate the car system directly. At that moment, the side guy finally noticed something was off. He asked, "Wait a minute, why is the car running?" My girlfriend laughed and said, "My boyfriend's car can start the AC remotely from his phone. I turned it on before coming downstairs. I didn't want you to feel too hot." The guy exclaimed, "Damn, even his cheap 100,000 renminbi domestic car has that function. My 1.3 million Porsche doesn't even have that." Willow cupped his face and kissed him passionately. "That's why you're in his cheap little car, having sex with his girlfriend," she said playfully. Her words got him so hyped up he started tearing off her clothes. He bit her ear and said, "You're such a tease. He lets you drive his car while he's taking the subway to work every day. And you're still saying nasty stuff like that to me." My girlfriend moaned excitedly. "Yeah, I'm a bad girl. Hearing you say things like that just turns me on more. He's my simp, but I'm your simp." Then came an unbelievably awkward moment, as he kissed her collarbone. He actually started singing, "The one who loves me is madly devoted, but I cry for the one I love, heartbroken, falling apart." Willow giggled while kissing him back and said, "That's right, baby, just like your song." I couldn't understand it. Why would someone sing during sex? Maybe it was their twisted sense of humor. Or maybe guys who drive Porsches just naturally know how to make girls laugh. But it was painful to watch, especially because this was still being live streamed. I knew I had to say something. This was my account. If the stream kept going and crossed into explicit content, I could literally be arrested. I couldn't help it. I coughed. Instantly, the two lovebirds in the back seat jumped up in panic. My girlfriend saw me and immediately went pale. Instinctively, she blurted out, "Aren't you supposed to be at work?" I said, "Today's your birthday." I took the afternoon off to surprise you. How pathetic. I'd requested leave. Prepared everything so carefully, and this is what I got in return. What shocked me most was, I wasn't even angry. Not a single thought of rage entered my mind, because I've always believed in one principle: as long as you're not married, you're just sleeping with someone else's future wife. After this, there was no way I could still propose. In my eyes, she was already someone else's wife, and I had just checked. The live stream had over 1,000 viewers. This stream required a password, meant only for close friends and family. So what did 1,000 viewers mean? It meant classmates, co-workers, relatives from both sides. Basically every nosy friend and distant auntie in the circle had been invited to come watch the drama unfold. From family, to workplace, to school, full coverage. Sure enough, the elevator in the company's parking garage opened. A group of people walked out. They weren't looking for their cars. They were holding up their phones, staring in our direction. Clearly, they'd come down specifically to watch the show live. My girlfriend, now flustered, saw the crowd outside and quickly said to me, "Please, don't argue with me right now. All my co-workers are outside. Don't embarrass me." I stared at her blankly and asked, "You still care about your pride?" She replied coldly, "Well, since you found out, there's no point in pretending anymore. Let's break up. I think I deserve someone better." I asked, "How have I wronged you?" She got dressed, climbed into the driver's seat, and started the car, driving off. She said coldly, "You've been great, I won't deny that, but I still believe I deserve better." Once a woman has ridden in a Porsche, she doesn't go back to a cheap ride like this. The side guy also awkwardly got dressed, and that's when I noticed something shocking. He had a wedding ring on his ring finger. Pointing at the ring, I asked, This is what you mean by someone better?" My girlfriend said coldly, "If you knew he gives me 20,000 yuan every month, would you still say that?" I gasped in disbelief. Online, 20,000 yuan a month might not seem like much, but in real life, for us, that's a lot of money. My own monthly salary is just over 6,000. Even this car, worth just over 100,000 yuan, I had to buy on a loan. The side guy finished dressing, gave me a glance, and said, "Brother, I get it, just name your price. I'll pay you to end this peacefully. Just don't go around spreading it." I stared at him and asked blankly, "You're trying to pay me to keep quiet?" He said, "Not paying you to keep quiet. You have to keep quiet." At this moment, my girlfriend parked the car by the roadside near her company building. There was a Porsche parked in a clearly marked spot nearby. A sign said, "Reserved space, no parking." Obviously, it was a spot reserved for company executives. My girlfriend turned to me and warned, "I'm telling you, don't even think about spreading this out of revenge. He's a vice president transferred from headquarters. He's got money and powerful connections, someone you really can't afford to mess with." I froze, not because I was scared of this so-called vice president's background, but because several of her co-workers had also witnessed the live stream, considering how some of them even snuck down to watch the drama live, and with how absurdly high the viewer count had gotten. I'd bet both their branch office and the main office had tuned in. There was no way this VP could keep his job. Even if I stayed silent, word would inevitably reach his wife. In fact, she might have been in the live stream too. Come on, she's the VP's wife. With so many employees, how could she not get the link from someone? Sure enough, at that moment, the side guy's phone started ringing. He picked it up, and I saw the caller ID. It said, "Wife." He quickly declined the call, then used the quick reply message, "I'm busy. I'll contact you later." But just as he hung up, another call came in, this time from chairman. The guy clearly didn't dare decline the chairman's call. He hesitated. My girlfriend, now looking uneasy, said, "You probably should answer the chairman's call. Maybe it's something important." The guy stared at me, eyes full of tension. Finally, gritting his teeth, he said, "Forget it. I can't risk it. I don't trust what he might say." He rejected the chairman's call as well, using the same quick reply message. No doubt about it, his wife and the chairman were both watching the live stream. He quickly powered off his phone, then said, "I'll just call them back later and say my phone ran out of battery and I just plugged it in." My girlfriend nodded. "That works. That sounds believable." I sighed. He really shouldn't have turned it off. If he'd left it on, someone might have texted him a warning. Watching my girlfriend worry so much for someone else, I felt a strange and indescribable emotion building inside. She got out of the car, walked around to the back, and as the trunk opened, the balloons and flowers I had prepared appeared before her eyes. So awkward. Originally, the camera was supposed to capture her joyful expression, but now, her face was nothing but cold and indifferent, which made sense. After all, we had already completely fallen out with each other. My girlfriend said coldly, "Fine, it's my fault. Take back your flowers and gifts. Let's just make things clear. Name your price. How much do you want to keep this a secret?" I opened my mouth bitterly and said, "Do you really think I'm the kind of person who'd blackmail someone over this?" She replied, "I just want safety. He signed a prenup, and I can't ruin him financially." I glanced at the other man, the homewrecker. His wife was probably already on her way to the courthouse. I asked, "I've taken care of you all these years. When you were doing everything to protect him, did you ever think about how I felt?" My girlfriend said impatiently. You already caught me cheating. Why would I still need to care about your feelings? Can you be a little more realistic? I let out a deep sigh. She was right. At this point, we really didn't need to care about each other's feelings anymore. There was no way I'd ask them for money. If they called the police, it would count as extortion. I've lived an honest life. I would never break the law. Besides, even if I did agree to keep it quiet, it wouldn't matter. Everyone already knew. I said, I don't want money. I won't say a word. Let's just break up. I'll return the engagement ring. My girlfriend looked surprised. Didn't expect you to be this cooperative. I thought you'd cling on and refuse to let go. Since we're breaking up, let's do it cleanly. Let's go back and pack up our stuff. I'll move out of your place. I instinctively said, I'll pack your things for you. You don't need to come upstairs. Honestly, I was thinking about her safety. Our friends and family were still inside, some awkward, some furious. If she came back with this guy, it might trigger a group fight. It could even get her beaten to death. No matter what, we had once loved each other. I didn't even want to imagine what would happen if she walked through that door. But she didn't appreciate the gesture. She said, no, I have to go back. He gave me cash, and I hid it. I want to take it with me. I said, you can tell me where the money is. I'll bring it down to you. The homewrecker suddenly sneered. You think we're that dumb? My girlfriend was stunned. Why can't he help? The guy said, you think he doesn't want hush money because he has morals? No, he's just scared to leave a record of a money transfer. That way, we can't report him for blackmail. She fell into deep thought and said, I get it now. You gave me all cash. If he takes the money, and I report it, I wouldn't even be able to tell the police how much was stolen. It would end up dragging you into it too. The guy nodded in approval and said, you're smart. She suddenly got angry and snapped at me. So that's why you were being so nice. You're the one playing dirty. I should have known. Poor men are the most calculating. I almost fell for it. Then she turned to the guy, eyes full of gratitude and admiration, and said emotionally, thank God you were here. No wonder you're a VP. You really are sharp. Only then did I understand the truth of a certain saying, sincerity is the most lethal weapon. I had been sincere the whole time, but here they were, spinning wild conspiracy theories. And the worst part, their theories were disturbingly clever, logical and well-structured. Even I almost believed them. Just as I was about to explain the live stream situation, the homewrecker pointed his finger at my nose and said seriously, remember, you said you don't want money, but if you dare to say a word about this, guess what I'll do? I asked, what will you do? He said, sure, I'll lose everything in the divorce, but trust me, I'll set aside hundreds of thousands before that and hire someone to break your arms and legs. One arm costs $200K. There are plenty of people out there who do it. I really didn't expect him to threaten violence, to say he'd pay someone to cripple me. But the most important thing, it was all caught on camera. Over 1,000 people could testify to it. This guy wouldn't just lose everything in his divorce, he'd be facing arrest too. I was lost in thought, but my girlfriend seemed to think I didn't believe her. She sneered and said, you'd better listen to him. Last month, a janitor from our company saw us. That janitor tried to blackmail us, and then she got into a car accident. You think that was a coincidence? In that instant, I was completely stunned. There were thousands of people watching the live stream. And she just said that out loud. If what she said was true, wouldn't that guy, her affair partner, end up rotting in prison? He glanced at me and said calmly, that kind of coincidence could happen to you too. After saying that, he got out of the car. I saw him open the Porsche door with gentlemanly elegance and let my girlfriend into the passenger seat. Suddenly, he took out 2 bundles of cash from the Porsche and tossed them into my trunk. He said, I'm a man who uses both kindness and pressure. Here's 20,000 yuan. Call it emotional damages. As long as you keep your mouth shut, nothing will happen to you. I'll escort her back to pack her things. Then he got into the Porsche and started the engine. I had initially wanted to warn them, but now I no longer cared. I meant well, but they had already threatened my safety. So let it be. If they end up beaten to death, so be it. After all, my family definitely wouldn't lay a hand on them. It was her family who just got utterly humiliated. The Porsche was fast, but we were in the city, so we were basically driving side by side. At this point, they didn't even bother hiding it anymore. While waiting at a red light, I saw my girlfriend throw herself into his arms, kissing him passionately, completely unconcerned that I was right beside them. It was as if breaking up with me meant dropping a heavy burden. I couldn't stand the atmosphere, but I still had to follow them back home. To my surprise, this incident had spread far and wide, because downstairs at our building, a crowd of neighbors had already gathered. When we got out of the car, they all stared at us, some even pulling out their phones to confirm it was really us. There were even people upstairs peeking through their windows. No doubt the live stream had been shared to the building's residents group chat. My girlfriend stepped out of the Porsche, noticing all the whispering in the cameras. She actually looked proud and said to me smugly, see that? Do you know what they're filming? This is what it means to step out of a luxury car, beauty, money, and attention. This is the life I deserve. I no longer felt anything for her. I replied coldly, they're just watching a pair of shameless cheaters. They're looking at a circus act. She wasn't angry. Instead, she smiled and said, so now that your little scheme failed, you're just lashing out like a dog backed into a corner. I knew it. You were trying to steal my cash. Too bad your petty tricks were exposed by a true elite. After saying that, she boldly clung to the guy's arm and walked into the building. Instantly, the neighbors couldn't help but gasp and start booing and shouting. The guy looked puzzled. Why are they yelling? My girlfriend said. I was with him for years. The neighbors all know me. Now they're probably just shocked to see me with someone else. He asked, won't this hurt your reputation? She shook her head and said, it's fine. I'm actually happy. These people have watched me get out of cheap cars for years. They must have looked down on me. But now they've seen me get out of a Porsche with their own eyes. He stroked her head and said tenderly, once I find the right moment to get divorced, I'll buy you a Porsche. Hearing that, my girlfriend was instantly thrilled and kissed him in public. The crowd of neighbors burst into even louder uproar, but my girlfriend had completely lost control. While kissing the guy, her side piece, she even glanced at me with a provocative and disdainful look. At that moment, the elevator doors opened. Our landlord stepped out and happened to see her kissing the guy. He immediately started shouting, you slut. I can't believe I rented my place to someone like you. My girlfriend froze, unable to believe it. What did you just call me? The landlord roared. I said you're a shameless whore, a skanky homewrecker. She instantly flew into a rage, but the guy quickly held her back and gently said, don't bother with people like this. You're moving out anyway. I'll get you into a 5-star hotel tonight. My girlfriend huffed and said unhappily, they don't know anything and just assume I'm some homewrecker. I was stunned, but she was a homewrecker. Once we were in the elevator, she seemed to be thinking deeply, then suddenly turned to me and asked, did you say something to the landlord? Did you tell him what happened? I replied, I didn't. She snapped, then why did he curse me the moment he saw me? A normal person would at least ask what's going on, but he didn't even ask. He just went off on me. You must have told him. I answered honestly. He knew I was planning to propose to you. The bouquet was too big, so he helped me carry it out earlier. My girlfriend suddenly understood and glared at me viciously. It better be just that. If I find out you told anyone about this, I swear you'll regret it, just like that janitor last time. Just as she said this, a police car suddenly pulled up in front of the building. The officer in the driver's seat saw us and pointed urgently, shouting, hey, hold up. But it was too late. The elevator doors slowly closed. My girlfriend quickly pressed the open button, but the doors didn't reopen. She muttered, ugh, it closed. Guess the police will take the next one. The guy held her in his arms, kissed her on the forehead, and said softly, it's fine. They can wait for the next elevator. I rolled my eyes. The cops were clearly coming for them. They had just openly admitted on livestream to hiring someone to hit the janitor with a car. More than 1,000 people were watching, including almost all their co-workers. Whether they were bluffing or not, if a janitor at their company had actually been hit recently, the company would have already reported it to the police. That's a serious felony. They could be looking at life in prison, or worse, even the death penalty. As the elevator slowly rose, my girlfriend, clueless about the catastrophe awaiting her, snuggled happily in the guy's arms and said, I'm so happy. Once I move out, I can finally text and video call you openly, without worrying about anyone finding out. The guy replied gently, baby, just be patient. Once I get the divorce, I'll make sure we can be open too. Right then, the elevator arrived at our floor. My girlfriend hugged him and beamed. This is the happiest day of my life. The doors slowly opened. Outside, a massive crowd filled the hallway. The corridor, once decorated with balloons and flowers, was now torn apart, everything scattered on the floor. My former future in-laws stood at the doorway, faces ashen with rage. My girlfriend, still smiling moments earlier, was instantly frozen when she saw her parents. She stared at them, dumbfounded. Dad, Mom, what are you doing here? The happy birthday banner still hung from the ceiling, too high for anyone to tear down. Panicked, my girlfriend quickly let go of the guy's arm and grabbed mine instead. Nervously, she stammered, oh, you're here to celebrate my birthday. Just now, my boss told me I was getting a raise, and I got excited and hugged him. Don't misunderstand. No one believed my girlfriend's lies. Everyone still looked at her with cold, disgusted expressions. Suddenly, her father exploded. He grabbed her by the throat and roared, celebrate your birthday. I'll celebrate your death anniversary instead. The sudden violence left my girlfriend completely stunned. She was yanked out of the elevator roughly, still clueless about what was going on. Panicked, she turned to her mother and cried out for help. Mom. But that word, mom, didn't awaken any motherly love. Not only did it fail to move her mother, it triggered something terrifying. Trembling, her mother pulled a fruit knife out of her pocket and lunged straight for my girlfriend's throat. The ferocity of the attack shocked everyone into momentary paralysis. Luckily, someone managed to grab her mother's arm in time. The knife missed her throat, but still sliced deeply across her face. It was clear her mother had completely lost control. She screamed hysterically, I gave birth to you, I can kill you too. I'll kill you now, then kill myself. To be honest, her parents used to be extremely protective of her. They spoiled their daughter like she was royalty. Back when she and I had minor arguments, they'd always take her side, telling me not to pick on a girl. In short, she was their precious little princess. But now, forget about a princess, she couldn't even pass for a cursed pearl. All our relatives and friends had seen everything play out. The humiliating scene in the car, the criminal confession. One side was a public disgrace, the other was bound for prison. This wasn't just about doting on their daughter anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if her parents had lost their will to live altogether. Sure enough, even though people managed to hold back her mother, she was still in total meltdown, screaming, veins bulging, completely detached from sanity, like she was teetering on the edge of a full mental breakdown. My girlfriend was terrified by the way her mother looked. She stammered, "Mom, you've got it all wrong. We're not what you think, we're just boss and employee." Then she touched her own face. The moment she felt the blood, she broke down in tears, crying, "Calm down. You've scarred my face." Even now, she was still lying, only adding fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, the side piece, the guy, rushed over to smooth things over. He said, "Ma'am, you misunderstood. There's nothing inappropriate between us." But her mother, already on the edge, couldn't take another word. With a final gasp of rage, she spat out a mouthful of blood. I stood there in shock. I'd always thought it was exaggerated when people said you could cough up blood from extreme anger. Until now, the blood splattered all over the guy's face. And then she collapsed unconscious on the ground. My girlfriend was completely paralyzed by fear. She dropped to her knees beside her mother, sobbing, "Mom, what's wrong? Don't scare me like this." Right then, her father walked over and kicked her aside with brutal force, shouting, "Don't you dare call her mom. Don't call me dad either. We don't have a daughter as shameful as you." The guy, now shaking all over, stammered, "This is all just a misunderstanding. Please, calm down." He hadn't even finished his sentence when someone punched him flat to the floor. I couldn't even tell who threw the punch. At that point, the whole scene had devolved into a full-blown brawl. The hallway was packed. People surrounded the guy, throwing fists and kicks at him. He tried multiple times to crawl toward the elevator, but every time someone dragged him back, fists slammed into his face, feet kicked into his ribs. Very soon, the guy was lying there like a battered dog, half dead, and my girlfriend wasn't spared either. After her father kicked her down, he actually grabbed the same fruit knife her mother had used. Emotionally shattered, he said, "Your mother was right. We should kill you, and then we'll end ourselves too. We've lost all dignity. We don't deserve to live." My girlfriend was crawling on the ground, trying desperately to escape her father. She sobbed, "I told you, it was just a misunderstanding. Why won't you believe me? Why are you framing innocent people?" I sighed and said, "They're not framing you. They saw everything you did." My girlfriend froze and looked at me blankly. What are you talking about?" I said, "To let our friends and family witness our love. The proposal was live-streamed from the beginning. Everything you did was caught on camera." At that moment, a flicker of fear appeared on my girlfriend's face. She said, "Then those co-workers who ran downstairs to see me and those neighbors who came out." I replied, "Yes, everyone in your life knows what happened. And the same goes for everyone in his life." My girlfriend lost it. She grabbed my collar and screamed hysterically, "Why didn't you tell me? We loved each other once. Why would you do this to get revenge on me?" I said, "I tried to tell you from the start. I called you and told you not to get in the car, but you told me you were in a meeting." She dropped to her knees, looking up at me blankly. I continued, "Then I tried to warn you again. I offered to come up and help you pack your things, but you didn't listen. You thought I was trying to skim you for money." She swallowed hard and asked, "Couldn't you just have been more direct?" I said, "I wanted to, but then the two of you threatened me. You said you'd pay 200,000 yuan to have my arm broken, and even said you'd hit me with a car. Since you wanted me dead, why would I protect you?" The guy, her side piece, was stunned too. He stuttered, "Then those calls earlier, my wife, the company chairman." I chuckled. "Yeah, I'm guessing your colleagues shared the live stream link with them too. Oh, and about that janitor you said got hit by a car on your orders. I'm betting those cops downstairs are here for you." At that moment, both my girlfriend and the guy looked at each other in stunned silence, but it didn't last long. They were soon swarmed again by the furious crowd. The cheating couple desperately tried to crawl their way out of the mob, but people were too enraged. Every time they tried to escape, someone would grab their legs and drag them back violently. What a joke. Her parents, who should have been the ones most likely to protect her, one had fainted from rage after vomiting blood. The other was still being held back with a knife in hand, barely restrained from committing murder. This was a full-blown tragedy turned farce. My girlfriend was beaten so badly she couldn't even get up. She lay on the ground sobbing, screaming to her lover, "What do we do? I'm finished." The guy exploded, shouting, "I'm the one who's finished. My wife knows. The entire company knows. You've ruined me." My girlfriend cried, "You ruined me. My mom vomited blood. I'm going to turn you in. You're the one who had someone run down the janitor. I had nothing to do with it. I'll confess everything and cut a deal." Furious, the guy lunged at her and started choking her. "Then I'll kill you first." He squeezed her neck so hard her eyes bulged, her face turned purple, and she clawed at his arm with both hands. But he had no intention of letting go. His face was twisted with rage, as if killing her could somehow erase his guilt and pin everything on her instead. Unbelievable. Just moments ago, they were cozying up in the elevator, calling this the happiest day of their lives. And now, they turned on each other like animals in a cage. The hallway was filled with her friends and relatives, but no one stepped forward to help her. Instead, everyone wore the same grim expression of satisfaction. Honestly, they probably wanted her to be strangled to death right there. Just then, the elevator that had gone down earlier came back up. The doors opened, and the police officers rushed out. "Stop right there," one of them shouted. They broke up the fight and tackled both of them to the floor, slapping handcuffs on their wrists. One officer said sternly, "You are both under arrest for suspected conspiracy to cause intentional harm." At that moment, both of their faces turned ashen. This whole farce had finally come to an end. My girlfriend's mother was rushed to the hospital. As for those who had been part of the beating, everyone claimed they hadn't touched anyone. Turns out someone had covered the hallway security camera with a cloth earlier. But the most unexpected part, the one rushed into intensive care wasn't her mother, it was my girlfriend. She had suffered high-level spinal cord damage. She was completely paralyzed from the neck down. All because the guy had choked her so violently that the bones crushed her spinal nerves. This was the most severe type of injury. One of the worst kinds of permanent disability there is. The side piece was already guilty of hiring someone to run over a janitor with a car. With the additional charges stacked up, he was sentenced to the maximum penalty allowed by law, life imprisonment. He didn't even get to keep his assets. Because of the prenup and the fact that he was now a convicted felon, his wife took everything and left him with nothing. As for my ex-girlfriend, she never made it to trial. After all, what was the point? She was already paralyzed from the neck down. She couldn't stand, couldn't sit. All she could do was lie in bed, relying on others for care. She couldn't even control her own bladder or bowels. The worst part, her parents, my former future in-laws, found her too shameful to bring home. They dumped her on the street multiple times. The local community committee had to step in and negotiate with them. But the parents just responded aggressively. Fine, arrest us. We'd rather go to jail than take care of such a disgrace of a daughter. In the end, my ex-girlfriend was sent to a state-run care facility. No family, no friends. She couldn't walk, couldn't sit up, and would have to live the rest of her life in that painful condition. One time, I couldn't help but go visit her. When I arrived, I saw a caregiver who clearly wasn't very friendly. She had just helped my ex-girlfriend change her clothes when she soiled herself again. The caregiver lost her temper, grabbed her by the hair, and slapped her hard across the face, twice. My ex-girlfriend didn't dare say a single word. She just lay there, crying. Watching this unfold, I felt it was too cruel. Then someone at the care facility quietly pulled me aside and told me, that caregiver is new. She used to work in janitorial services, got hit by a car not long ago, broke her leg. She got a good compensation payout, but she couldn't stay idle, so she came here as a volunteer. Everyone said the same thing. She's someone who's been through the rain. That's why she holds the umbrella for others. And the moment I heard that, I understood everything. If she wants to hit her, let her. My ex-girlfriend deserved it.